Hey, Bro World Entertainment, and it looks like Ryan Reynolds is trying to get back into people's good books because apparently he's prioritising Deadpool 4 amid his wife's legal drama. Now, good luck with this one, and we've already heard that there's no plans from Disney to make a Deadpool 4. In fact, they've said the only way they truly see the character continuing is as a bit player in other people's projects. But let's have a look at this because it is interesting, and how this article tries to frame Deadpool and Wolverine as this massive success, which we now know it isn't, is funny. But it's the fact of what can Ryan Reynolds do to actually get himself back into good graces. Now, a lot of people don't really know or even have been looking at what's been going on, but these new text messages and emails and stuff that's been revealed in the Blake Lively legal case has painted not just her but him in an incredibly bad light. Now, we know that he is incredibly difficult to work with in movies. When you've seen his text messages and stuff like that in her case, it just shows you how much of an absolute scumbag he actually is behind the scenes regarding everything. How he tries to take complete control of everything. How he tries to make all these crazy demands. It's just insane. But let's have a look at this. So, it's saying Green Lantern came close to derailing Ryan Reynolds' movie career. However, he'd later bounced back in 2016's Deadpool and has become a billionaire thanks to a series of savvy business moves. Don't know if he's a billionaire. As for those business moves, yeah, I think a few of them are starting to actually fall apart. So Deadpool and Wolverine was a record-breaking success in 2024. And Reynolds is expected to return as Wade Wilson in this December's Avengers Doomsday. Now that's where the first part comes in with this record-breaking success. On paper, it's a record-breaking success, but not the way you'd think. That is because it's meant to have made the biggest amount of money as a movie that's R-rated. So Joker, I think, was leading the way with that, and then Deadpool came along, and Deadpool and Wolverine, and obviously made well over the billion. That's where it's the success. It's the number you can look at compared to other numbers. However, it's still not actually the success that they're trying to paint it as, which we will get to. However, his wife, Blake Lively, remains in a legal battle with It Ends With Us filmmaker Justin Baldoni, which looms large over the actor's other ventures, particularly after a series of text messages were recently made public. Puck has shared its assessment of the situation, including the potential impact this messy legal drama is having on the respective careers of Reynolds and Lively. In the former's case, it said, Apple has been sitting on a finished Skydance movie, Mayday, a comedic survival story starring Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh, for more than a year. Sources say a release date will be announced soon. It will go straight to streaming, likely in September. Apple declined to comment. Reynolds has other projects on the runway. He's executive producer and a voice in Animal Friends from Warner Brothers and Legendary, which drops in late May, and he's in production on Eloise for Netflix. Sources say Reynolds is also wisely focused on the next Deadpool movie, which will give him a chance to be seen as the public loves him most. Again, you're hearing all of these things, and there's a lot that this is leaving out as well. The whole idea of, he's wisely working on a Deadpool 4, which is funny when we hear what comes up next, because it's the case of he wants to do Deadpool to try and say, oh no, don't look at all this legal crap where you can see how much of an absolutely manipulative scumbag I am. Look at the shiny over here. So it says, it was last May that we first learned that Reynolds was in early stages of writing a new Deadpool movie featuring the Merc with a mouth and 3 or 4 X-Men characters. The idea is that Wade Wilson would be a supporting player in a project separate from Jake Schaefer's X-Men reboot. At the time, it was said that Reynolds was currently working independently from the studio, meaning it hadn't been officially greenlit. However, Common Sense said that another Deadpool movie would be a priority for Disney and Marvel Studios after the trequel's success. Now, before we go on, this is where we have to go into how Deadpool and Wolverine isn't the success that they're trying to paint it as. Because, as we now know, the budget was not the 200 million that they said it was. It was, in fact, $533 million. That's before they got their tax break. However, their tax break brought it down to 400 million. But they spent massively on the marketing for this thing, which brought the total surpassing that 533 million before tax break. It brought the whole total back up to $547 million. Meaning the movie had to make roughly $1.6 billion just to break even, which it just about did. The movie's profit is just about in and around 20 million. That's it. That's not a success. That is not even close to being a success. When you spend 547 million on a movie, you know what your profit margin has to be? $1 billion. You don't want it just to break even. You want to earn double the amount you paid for it. So if they paid 547 million for that movie, they wanted to double that. The fact that they made 20 and that's it, 20, that from a financial point of view from the studio would be, that's a disaster for us. And we're lucky we even managed to get that because the thing almost didn't hit that. So no, they wouldn't be prioritizing it, and now we know exactly why they weren't prioritizing it. As for the fact that Ryan Reynolds is writing this without it being greenlit and without the studio even telling them to, is another issue you can look at, where it's like, this is where he gets very manipulative. Like, think about it. Deadpool only happened because he, which is funny, illegally released that short movie they did. You're not meant to do that, and he is the one who actually released that. Where they tried to say a fan got their hand on it, really, he ended up confirming that he did it, which that was illegal. So you kind of have to look at these things and the way he operates. So it's saying social media scoopers have since claimed that Reynolds is developing an X-Force movie. Deadpool has a memorable stint with the team during Rick Remender's X-Force run. In that, the anti-hero was paired up with Wolverine, Archangel, Psylocke, and Phantomex, I think is how you pronounce it. We also know that Reynolds was eager to develop an X-Force movie when the X-Men rights were still with 20th Century Fox. So they're all trying to just talk about now, oh, Reynolds is doing this and, you know, it's absolutely going to be a go and all this stuff. You notice they talked about the movies that he has Skydance movie ready to go that they've been holding on to. They've delayed the release. That is this Animal Friends coming out, which I believe is this animated thing. They're forgetting to mention one very, very important thing that they conveniently leave out of this. Paramount and Skydance has just cancelled not one, not two, 3 Ryan Reynolds projects that they had in the works. That's right. Skydance and Paramount had 3 projects in the works from Ryan Reynolds. Not that they wanted him to be in these things. They were his. He was working on them for Paramount and Skydance. And once these messages start coming out and all this legal shit started, they turned around and went, yeah, no thanks. We'll pass. So his career is starting to take that hit, and now that all these messages are coming out, he can write all the Deadpools he wants. The reality is, do studios now want to take that risk with him? Now, he had already done his stuff for Doomsday. Question then is, what happens with Secret Wars? From what we hear, one of the planets that gets destroyed, well, every planet's pretty much going to get destroyed, but his planet, or I should say his Earth, gets destroyed in Doomsday. And the question people are asking now is Deadpool still on the Earth when it gets destroyed? Do they kill him off? If they kill him off in it, The question then is, do they take the risk and bring him back for Secret Wars? Being the fact that this legal battle with his wife and shit, all the stuff that is coming out with him involved is not a great look. The fact that apparently, and it's confirmed in the documents and stuff as well, that he brought Justin Baldoni to his apartment and screamed at him like a child having a temper tantrum for over 5 hours. The fact that the public can now see that and just see all the messages and emails he sent, not just to other people, but to the likes of Sony themselves, to try and big up Blake and get her credits and stuff like this, just to see the manipulative behavior of him stuff, and then knowing how much of an asshole he is to actually work with as well. Yeah, it's not looking good for him or his wife. Look, Blake is done. She's toast. You know, put a fork in her. She is cooked. But this whole case that his name is now being dragged badly through the mud, yeah, it's not looking good for his career either. But that's my opinion. What the hell do you guys think? Do you even want a Deadpool 4? Because I'll tell you, I love the first Deadpool. Deadpool 2, I do enjoy. I do like it. It's definitely not as good as the first one, but I still enjoy it. I did not enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine at all. You can even go back and look at my review for it way back when. I was incredibly disappointed with that movie. And I think the trope of Deadpool right now, especially with the way superhero movies is now, I think it's run its course. I think it's done, you know. There's nothing else you can really do with it that's really going to make you go, oh, I definitely need more of that. So that's my opinion, but what do you guys think? Do you think his career is in trouble now with this text messages and stuff coming out and this legal drama with his wife? Do you think Disney will greenlight a Deadpool 4, or do you think they'll just use him sparingly, if at all? Let me know what you think about all this. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.